so they could pay employees. They could do the. But guess what? You may remember I was running for office at the time, but you all may remember it. That I had a big fight with the former president and maybe future president. Bless me, Father. Anyway, no, all kidding aside.
This is my first video update from Athens, Greece on this Friday morning. Let's talk about some news, and let's talk about Joe Bidenopoulos, Greece's favorite son, and his 2024 budget, which is targeting crypto, real estate, the oil industry. Biden is looking to close up tax loopholes and to remove subsidies in these industries. He's looking to save something like around 31 or 35 billion by closing up whatever loopholes there are in these various industries. He is going to increase defense spending by a whole lot more. So he's looking to close loopholes in crypto, real estate, oil, and he is looking to increase the spending on the military budget. All in all, Biden's budget for 2024 would see revenues of around 5 trillion, but an actual deficit of around 1.9 trillion, if I remember correctly. But there was a crypto crash yesterday because Biden is also targeting the crypto mining electricity use. And he's looking to get crypto miners to pay for the electricity that they're using. And crypto crashed to under $20,000 yesterday. We had a really bad day in U.S. banks, in the U.S. banking sector. Those stocks also crashed. Silicon Valley Bank is in big trouble. It looks like that bank is having a meltdown. But it was a bad day in general yesterday in the United States, in crypto and banking, and not in defense. Not in defense. Biden is going to increase defense spending. Those guys are making out really well under the Biden White House. Anyway, let's shift gears and talk about Nord Stream. We have some more news on the Nord Stream story, and the Wall Street Journal, they're jumping on board with their Nord Stream revelations, and they claim that they have sources in the intel community in the U.S. which are saying that the CIA, they were warning the European Union way back in 2022, early 2022, that there were pro-Ukrainian groups that were about to blow up the Nord Stream pipeline. So that's the latest twist in the Nord Stream pipeline sabotage yacht story. Five guys, one doctor yacht story. The Wall Street Journal is claiming that the CIA, they had intel about all of this stuff, and they warned their European partners about a possible Nord Stream sabotage from these pro-Ukrainian groups, pro-Ukrainian anti-Putin groups. And Der Spiegel claims that they've actually located the yacht. They found the yacht, a Bavaria Cruiser 50 model, and the yacht is the Andromeda. And Der Spiegel even put a picture of this yacht, which is a 15-meter sailing yacht. And when you look at the photo of the Andromeda, I guess that's the yacht's name, the Andromeda, it doesn't look too impressive. I when I was thinking yacht, I was thinking something much, much bigger. I was thinking Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates style yacht in order to pull off this pipeline explosion. But nope, you're just looking at a 15-meter Bavaria Cruiser 50. That's what did the Nord Stream pipeline in. Was this yacht. And this yacht was used to transfer explosives, according to Der Spiegel. And the yacht was rented on the island of Rügen through a charter company, and now on the island of Kristiansand in Denmark, a search is underway for this actual yacht. They're actually trying to find this yacht. Yesterday, almost a whole world called me. I received calls from 87 different people, said island caretaker Søren Tim Andersen on the island of Kristiansand. So they're looking for the Andromeda. Is that what I'm being led to believe? According to Der Spiegel, the hunt is on for the Andromeda. In Greek mythology, Andromeda, she was the daughter of a king, the beautiful daughter of a king who, I believe, Poseidon chained her up to these rocks on the ocean, and the sea monster was going to eat Andromeda until Perseus rode on Pegasus, and he saved Andromeda and then married Andromeda, and something like that went down, and I believe that the brother of the king who she was promised to was very upset, and he wanted Andromeda for himself, and Perseus took out the head of Medusa that he cut off and turned the king's brother to stone, something like that. I'm trying to remember my Greek mythology, but I may be a little off on my Andromeda story. But anyway, that's the yacht that we are looking for, from what I understand, according to Der Spiegel. Let me see if I have an article that has some more info on this story. The German edition of Der Spiegel has published new details on the case of the terrorist attack on Nord Stream gas pipelines. According to police sources, the yacht Andromeda, registered in the port of Breguet on the island of Rügen, was used to transport explosive devices by saboteurs. As specified, the 15-meter long yacht, model Bavaria Cruiser 50, was rented through a charter company on the island of Rügen. Spiegel posted a photo of the ship. According to the report, the yacht departed from the port of Rustic Warnemünde and then moored for a short time in the port of Vik on the north coast of the island. That's what we know. Okay, so that's the latest on Nord Stream. I was expecting a much more impressive yacht to transfer explosives to the Nord Stream pipeline location. Anyway, I imagine in a couple of weeks we're going to find 5 doctors and 1 female doctor apprehended by German authorities. And they're going to be the people that, they're going to be the pro-Ukrainian, anti-Putin people that pulled off this Nord Stream explosion. That's what I imagine we're going to get in a week or two. We're going to get 6 people who are going to be charged with the Nord Stream pipeline sabotage. So if you're a diver of Ukrainian origin or a female doctor of Ukrainian origin, then I would be very worried if I were you and you're living somewhere in Europe, or I don't even know, maybe they'll find them in Ukraine, but If you're a scuba diver and you have a Ukrainian passport, or if you're a doctor, a female doctor, and you have a Ukrainian passport, watch out. German authorities may be coming after you. Be on the lookout. Wow. What a development in the Nord Stream sabotage story. All the media is jumping on this. Wall Street Journal, Der Spiegel, they're all jumping on board to give their own little information on the Nord Stream sabotage. We had an attempted assassination in Transnistria. A Franz Ferdinand event almost took place in Transnistria, but this assassination attempt was foiled by the Transnistrian authorities, and allegedly Ukraine was in on this. They wanted to blow up from what I understand, they wanted to blow up the car of the Transnistrian president or something like that. And this assassination attempt was foiled, but it does sound like a Franz Ferdinand type of provocation, doesn't it? But the Polish, the Belarus KGB, they are saying that the Polish authorities, they were involved in the sabotage of the A-50 aircraft that took place in Minsk, outside of Minsk last week. So that is what the Belarus KGB is saying. Interesting sabotage events taking place. We're going to see a lot of these types of sabotage events going forward. I said this last week in a video update I did, and I think this is proving correct. We're going to see all kinds of drone strikes and sabotage attempts on the territory of Transnistria and in Belarus, and all kinds of stuff is like this is going to take place, because the war is going terribly wrong, and Ukraine intel and Polish intel and NATO and all of these guys are going to be looking at ways to instigate some sort of second front or some sort of widening out of the war in Ukraine, like what is taking place in Georgia. And the protests should have stopped, given the fact that this foreign agent bill has been withdrawn. But lo and behold, the protests are not stopping, and now the protesters, they want the government of Georgia to resign. Who could have called this one? Who could have foreseen this one? This really wasn't about the foreign agents bill. This was about getting some sort of regime change in Georgia, and getting a regime that will be more open to opening a second front against Russia. Protesters in Tbilisi were heard chanting Abkhazia yesterday in reference to some sort of military action against Abkhazia and South Ossetia, and they want the government to resign because these protesters, well, they're just not happy with the fact that the government has avoided starting up a conflict with Russia, and they would like the new government that would come into power to start provoking the Putin government into some sort of military action against Georgia. That's what these protesters now want. They're protesting for foreign meddling in their country, and now they're protesting for some sort of military action against Abkhazia and South Ossetia that would provoke the Russian military to attack Georgia. Great protesters. What happened to the days when people would protest for peace? Now people are protesting for foreign meddling and for some sort of military action against Russia, or some sort of military action that would provoke Russia. Real good protesters in Georgia, real good protesters. They're protesting for the country to become more corrupt and for the country to enter into a conflict with Russia. And of course, all of this is being done under the guise of Georgia's EU future. It's all about Georgia's European future. Why in God's name would any country at this point in time want to join the European Union? I have no clue. I'm trying to understand the logic of having your country join an institution that is bankrupt and on its last legs. But nope, we want to join the European Union now. We're going to get freedom. The protesters want the freedom of the EU by having their country ruled by a bunch of bureaucrats and technocrats located in Brussels. That's how Georgia is going to get some of that freedom, some of that democracy. We want democracy. We want democracy by being ruled by a bunch of unelected officials who are thousands of miles away. That's their idea of democracy, handing over control of your country to Ursula von der Crazy and Joseph Borrell, who are in turn controlled by Soros and Klaus Schwab and Victoria Nuland. That democracy is going to work out really, really well for you, Georgia. But, don't say people didn't warn you, because the path you are on is the path of destruction. Elensky yesterday in his video address to the people of Ukraine, he didn't want to talk about the catastrophe in Bakhmut or anything like that. He wanted to talk about how people in Georgia are choosing the path of democracy and freedom via the European Union, and they're actually carrying EU and Ukrainian flags. And Elensky was really proud, saying this is the success of Maidan. Now we're seeing the success of Maidan in Georgia. How did that Maidan success turn out for Ukraine? If that's success, well then, I don't know what to say. But that's what Elensky chose to talk about. So I guess Georgia is going to get some of that Ukrainian success coming up real soon. Ukrainian success coming to Georgia. It's a very, very strange thing for protesters to want. People protesting for the destruction of their country. It's a very odd thing to see, but I imagine a lot of these protesters are getting paid and they're not really looking after the interests of the country, but are doing the bidding of the European Union and the U.S. State Department. But this is the path that Georgia is choosing. So that was Elensky talking about Georgia and the Maidan in Georgia. What else should we talk about? The Ukraine official, what's his name? Danilov, the secretary of the NSDC. He's complaining that an increasing number of Ukraine citizens are in favor of peace talks with Russia. And Danilov said that this is a very dangerous trend in Ukraine. Very dangerous that people in Ukraine want to see peace, according to Alexei Danilov, who has taken the place of Arestovich. He's the new clown of the Zelenskyy regime. And since we're talking about the European Union and clowns, I guess I have to talk about Ursula von der Crazy's trip to Canada, where she spoke to the Canadian Parliament to a standing ovation. Everyone in Canada, the Parliament in Canada, was very, very happy to have Ursula van der Crazy speak to them. And then she gave a press conference with Justin Trudeau. And she said that that Canada has been going above and beyond in its support of Ukraine. Canada has done more than enough to help the Zelenskyy regime and to help Ukraine in their fight against the evil Vladimir Putin. And she even said that Canada is the one country that has been training Ukraine far, far right. She didn't use far right, but we know far, far, far right elements in Ukraine. Canada has been training these elements since 2015. And Ursula, she wanted to thank Trudeau personally for training these militias and these far right elements since 2015. She said that it was Canada's training that made the difference in the siege of Kiev. The siege of Kiev. They love that siege of Kiev story.
We're both stepping up our support to Ukraine, including our military support, because Ukrainians have all the necessary grit and spirit, but what they need is weapons. The European Union has already delivered 12 billion euros worth of military equipment so far. In parallel, we will continue training Ukrainian soldiers like you are doing so, but you have been doing since 2015 already. Our goal is, on the European side, to train 30,000 troops by the end of the year.
So that was Ursula and Trudeau at a press conference in Canada. And Trudeau actually also said in his statement that Canada will support Ukraine for as long as it takes. That is actually a statement from Justin Trudeau. Let me see if I have the exact quote. The exact quote from Trudeau was, "For as long as it takes, we will stand shoulder to shoulder with our European partners for Ukraine." That is what Trudeau said. For as long as it takes, we will stand shoulder to shoulder with our European partners, because Canada is proud to be part of the European Union. And then Ursula looked at Trudeau and she said, Trudeau, Canada is not a part of the European Union. You're just a partner, but you're not a part of the European Union. And Trudeau, shocked, what? We're not a part of the European Union? Why is that? Well, Justin, Canada is not in Europe. Canada is here. Europe is over there, across the water. Yeah, but Ursula, the European Union is giving candidate status to the U.S. state of Georgia. Trudeau, you idiot. Not the state of Georgia, the country of Georgia, the country in the Caucasus. And we're giving them candidate status, not because of geography, but because we want to start another war with Russia. Damn it, Trudeau. Don't you read the scripts that Newland sends you? Oh, I think I might have missed that one. I don't think I read that script, that memo, but you know, Ursula, in Canada, we believe in inclusivity. And just because we're located across the water from Europe, you're not going to include us in the European Union? I'm very, very hurt. I thought the EU was all about inclusivity and diversity. I'm very, very hurt, Ursula. Trudeau, you idiot. Just give Elensky some more money and let's be done with this press conference. So, Trudeau really did say, for as long as it takes, he really did say that, because that is the line that they're given now, that they have to say at every press conference, at every speech. They have to say, for as long as it takes. Not to convince the world, but to convince themselves. So that's why they have to say, for as long as it takes. They have to convince themselves that they're going to actually come out of this Ukraine debacle in one piece, but they're not. Anyway, for as long as it takes. You know another word that the U.S. script writers are now using? Cherry picking. Do you notice that they're using the word cherry picking a lot in the U.S. media and in Congress? They're using the word cherry picking. They use cherry picking when describing Tucker Carlson's video footage from January 6th. All of the Democrats were using the word cherry picking. All of the Chuck Schumers and the MSNBCs and CNN pundits, they were all saying that Tucker Carlson was cherry picking. He was cherry picking the video footage. And yesterday, in the congressional hearing with Matt Taibbi and Michael Schellenberger for Twitter, which was a really interesting and entertaining hearing. But in that hearing, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, how did she end up in Congress? She's the one that cheated Bernie out of the candidacy in 2016. I mean, she was busted cheating for the DNC, and she's still in Congress? How does that work out? Anyway, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, she was grilling Matt Taibbi, and she called him, and she was saying that Matt Taibbi was not a journalist, and he's gotten rich off of this whole Twitter thing. I mean, just really smearing, a really disgusting smear against Matt Taibbi. Debbie Wasserman Schultz was accusing Matt Taibbi of enriching himself. Debbie Wasserman Schultz, a person who was busted cheating on behalf of Hillary Clinton, was accusing Matt Taibbi of getting fame and fortune and attention from the Twitter files. Anyway, she said that Matt Taibbi was cherry-picking the information on behalf of Elon Musk in the Twitter files. So cherry-picking, that's another word that the scriptwriters in D.C. and in Hollywood are using.
Rogan, yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes.
Good. Now, you crossed that line with the Twitter files.
No.
Elon Musk, it's my time. Please do not interrupt me. Elon Musk spoon-fed you his cherry-picked information, which you must have suspected promotes a slanted viewpoint, or at the very least generates another right-wing conspiracy theory. You violated your own standard, and you appear to have benefited from it. Before the release of the emails in August of last year, you had 661,000 Twitter followers. After the Twitter files, your followers doubled, and now it's 3 times what it was last August. I imagine your Substack readership, which is a subscription, increased significantly because of the work that you did for Elon Musk. Now, I'm not asking you to put a dollar figure on it, but it's quite obvious that you've profited from the Twitter files. You hit the jackpot on that Vegas slot machine to which you referred. That's true, isn't it?
I've also reinvested.
You've made some. No. Is it true that you have profited since you were this recipient of the Twitter files? You've made money. Yes or no?
I think it's probably a wash, honestly.
No, you have made money that you did not have before, correct?
But I've also spent money that I didn't have before. I just hired a whole group of people to invest.
Patently obvious answer, reclaiming my time. Attention is a powerful drug. Eyeballs, money, prominence, attention, all of it points to problems with accuracy and credibility.
That's one of the talking points that they're now sending to all of the politicians in the U.S. and the CNN and MSNBCs of the mainstream media. As long as it takes for Ukraine and cherry picking when it comes to censorship and the Twitter files and the January 6th video footage. It's all cherry picking. They don't cherry pick. Everyone else cherry picks. Since we're talking about script writers, let's talk about Elensky, our clown world. Elensky getting snubbed at the Oscars. Boy, oh boy, you know this one really stings. This one really stings, Zelenskyy. Because you know if there is one thing in the whole entire world that Zelenskyy dreams of 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, it's appearing at the Oscars. You know that there is nothing more important in the whole entire world to Zelenskyy than appearing at the Oscars. But he's been snubbed. This is from Variety.com. Oscars reject Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy's bid to appear on telecast. For the past year, Zelenskyy has been greeted with open arms by awards shows, film festivals, and even the New York Stock Exchange. But when it comes to landing airtime on the most coveted telecast of all, the Oscars, the Ukrainian leader is being met with a cold shoulder. For the second year in a row, the Academy has snubbed Zelenskyy, who was hoping to follow up his Berlin Film Festival remote appearance last month with a virtual spot on Sunday's Oscar telecast on ABC. Sources say WME power agent Mike Simpson made a plea to the Academy to include the comedic actor turned politician, but was shut down. The Academy declined comment. Zelenskyy's overtures to the Oscars comes as polls show Americans' support for providing assistance to Ukraine has weakened. The Zelenskyy PR machine even has WME power agent Mike Simpson lobbying on his behalf, and he still got snubbed. Zelenskyy even has power agents lobbying for him, and he still got snubbed. You know this one really hurts. This clown world really hurts Zelenskyy. Wow. My oh my. My oh my, Zelenskyy is furious that his PR team couldn't get him a spot on the Oscars. You know that he is furious. He's probably on the phone with Newland right now. Vicky, how did I get turned down from appearing at the Oscars? How is this possible? I demand, Vicky, that you call up the Oscars and get me on that show. Oh, and Vicky, do you have a couple of billion to send me? I want to buy a house in France, and I need a couple of billion. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye. That's my cloud world. That's the video, theduran.locals.com. We are on Rumble. We are on Rockfin. We are on BitChute and ODYSEE and Telegram as well. And go to the Duran shop, 10% off. Use the code Good Day. I am wearing my my Slovakia sweatshirt. And by the way, there's a factory in Slovakia, in a town in Slovakia. I forgot the name, but they're saying that this factory is going to be where one of the factories where the European Union ramps up ammo production. And this factory is going to create 50 jobs. And from what I understand, there are people in the factory who are like, or people in this town who are like, you know what? I don't want to work anywhere near this factory, because if we start producing ammo for the Zelenskyy regime, well, then Russia may consider us a target. And we don't want to be in a factory that Russia considers a target. So I just thought I would throw that out there. Anyway, that's the video, guys. Take care.